listening to the LOZ Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the LOZ Podcast Network. Another episode. You may be watching us in the LOZ app. You may be listening to us on KRMS radio on Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. We're excited to have that affiliation, that simulcast, and get the message out on the podcast everywhere. We talk to a lot of people here at the lake, a lot of people who are in the know, but you know, I got to tell you, my buddy Dale Law over at Marine Max, he knows everything going on in the boating world. Dale, what's going on, buddy?
Well, hi, Ken. Thanks for having me back. I don't know everything. I just know enough to be dangerous.
Well, now you've only been there for, let's see, when did you start at Marine Max?
Well, I just make it easy. It's a quarter of a century.
25 years, man. Can you believe it? I mean, can you look back and say, 25 years at the same place? That's rare.
Yeah. My biggest mistake, I didn't take enough notes to write a book. And trust me, I could write it. It'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, you've been through a couple ownership changes, several different things going on. But I tell you what, the one thing that, and I'm going to be, upfront with everybody here. I've bought several boats from Marine Max, and they are one of our most valued sponsors in the app. I always go back to Marine Max because I know that the people that have been there, they've been there forever. They can help me with things. They understand what I'm doing. They can go back and say, Ken, when you bought 3-4 boats ago, here's how we did it. And here's what we're doing now. And you guys make it simple, easy. I don't have to come in and feel like I'm starting from scratch. And that's a lot of what I think people are looking for when you're making a purchase. And let's face it, Dale, I was at the boat show in the fall, and I saw some Tri-Tunes that were tipping out at some of the dealers around $300,000. So I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is. Back to the longevity. I think, if I wrote a book and had to write it in one sentence, it'd be something like, the people and our customers is why I'm still here. That's the friendships, the relationships, like yours and many others. And it's to the point now I run into somebody at LOZ or wherever, at a restaurant. I'm like, okay, I know they bought a boat and I cannot remember their name, but they have a 370 Dancer or whatever it is. And I know where their house is, but now it's to the point I got so many of these repeat customers, and that's fun. That's really cool. And that's still why we do what we do. But, pontoon boats over $250,000 to, it's crazy technology.
It is. And I mean, I think it's just amazing. You look at a lot of different waterways out there in the United States, and I think what we have here is so unique. It's the one place, I think, for a lake in the middle of the Midwest where you can see a 16-foot fishing boat out on the water, and then you can drive by and see a 65-foot cruiser. And, it's just amazing the different plethora of boats that they have on this lake.
It's crazy. You think about the shootout, even how many states and countries people are coming and saying, hey, I've come to the shootout, or I've been to the shootout, and they're just, I heard about boat racing and I heard it's pretty cool and I want to make my way here. So it's nuts. It's everything.
Now, you'll still sell a boat in December, right? I mean, you don't shut down, right? I mean, you're still open for business.
No, it's good and bad. The good in a way for us is we get a chance to only work only 5 days a week.
A normal work week.
Relax, but we're still selling boats. I've got 2 demos scheduled for Friday because they were earlier in the week. They got pushed back or up, I guess, because of the weather. And so, we're demoing, selling. It's not as active. We can probably pay a little more attention to our customer at this point. Year end's around the corner. Everybody's got it. We got a little help from some manufacturers recognizing what's going on in the Midwest, and most people are winterized by now. So, and probably thinking about boats is typically at the end of their list, of their Christmas list. So when you do come along, and if you're interested, we definitely, we partnered up with, like I said, some of our Brunswick manufacturers and offering some incentives to the end of the year.
Well, and outside of the boat shows that kind of kick off here in the next couple months, it's a pretty good time to buy a boat. Like if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna put some money down on a boat, this is a good time. I mean, you could, like you said, some year-end incentives. You probably got some inventory that you're like, we don't want to carry that over into 26 if we don't have to, and so you can be a little bit more aggressive. And while you're buying a boat that maybe you can't use for a couple months, you might be able to save yourself a little cash, going out there and actually doing something now.
Yeah, we've got a few, fortunately for us, not a lot of the 2025 models, and those are the ones that are highly incentivized. Things like, hey, don't worry about winterization, don't worry about storage. You're not going to use your boat until April, May, maybe June, whatever that may be. And, those kind of things relieve some of that pressure of cost and buying now. We'll
Mhm.
take care of that. And like warranties, your boat warranty won't start till you take delivery anyway. So you're not, some people think, oh, if I buy a boat that I'm losing my warranty in the winter. Well, no, we'll start it in April or May when you take delivery. And then that's the start of that whole factory warranty.
And you guys do an amazing job on the warranty side. I mean, I'm on my second Harris Tri-Tune with you guys. My first iteration I went through there, I had a little problem with one of my tunes, which happens on this lake. I mean, it's a rough lake. There's a lot going on. Boy, they stood behind it. They took care of it. They got me back on the water in, I think, a week. I mean, you guys really understand the boating and how it works. And when people do have an issue and they've got to get it remedied, you understand that there's a limited amount of time people can spend on the water, and you don't want that boat down too long. So, I mean, I was always amazed by how quickly you guys reacted and got me back on the water. That's what you want.
Well, if we got you back on the water in a week, we must have stole something off another boat.
I don't know how you did it, but you did.
We, we like you, Ken. Well, and that's the thing. People, they equate their boating world to a weekend. And only 10, 12, whatever that may be. So that's the tough piece is making sure everybody's rocking and rolling and boating every weekend they come down. And they want that boat to start. They want it to be perfect because it's been sitting for 2 weeks because they hadn't been here. And that's a big challenge. We try to work through all that. It's never perfect every time, but we'll figure out a way to make it work.
And if I've got a boat that, look, I want to upgrade and I don't want to mess with having to sell that boat and all that, you guys take care of all of it, right? I mean, you'll consign a boat, you'll take a boat in on trade. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, right? I mean, it's definitely people that have a boat already. Don't be afraid to bring it to you and see what you can do on that boat.
Yep. And what we're finding this summer anyway is the guy that's got a boat that's 22, 23, 25 years old. They haven't done anything in a long time. And that boat just doesn't fit the needs. Now there's grandkids, or it's just quite frankly too small. So we've got a pretty good set of outlets that we would call them wholesale to help get your boat gone. We wouldn't necessarily take that age of a boat on trade, but we got somebody that can handle that transaction and pretty much keep it seamless.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, you guys have, and you guys partner with so many people at the lake, and you've been around so long that I'm sure if a guy needs a lift, you can tell him where to go, recommend him on where they can get a lift for that boat. Just different things that happen. I know that I know when we got our cruiser, I know my wife went to a school you actually provided on how to drive the boat, and you guys spent a bunch of time with us and with her on how to drive, which is just all those little extras make a big difference.
Yep. That's one thing we pride ourselves on, a complete delivery orientation. I mean, it's if you don't know what you're doing or how to use it, you're not going to use it. You're intimidated. We don't want that. So, um, captain's orientation, spending multiple times, showing the wife how to drive a boat without the husband being around. That's been a big thing. I don't want to know, but I want my husband here is telling me how to do it, and our lady drivers seem to be better than the guy drivers because they'll listen, learn, and us guys, we know it all, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I've been there, done that. I'm gonna do it my way. So yeah, that's all. This part of what we do. It's We call it just continuous education. Buy a boat from us. Your kids come down. Hey, they're 18 now, and I want to let them out on the water on their own. We will show them how to operate the boat 2 years after they purchase from.
What's the most popular boat you sell right now? I mean, you sell so many different kinds and types, but if
Yeah.
you had to pick one, what's
So and I'll categorize it, start outboards. Our lake forever was a stern drive. We need the swim platform. We cove out the cruiser. We're going to the coves and spending the weekend off the dock on the hook, so to speak. And what that market shifted and the outboard world, because every boat that we sell out there than Harris pontoons, you can get both stern drive and outboard. From our cruisers yachts line, our 42 GLS is becoming really popular, and we sold more outboards on those that we have stern drive. And people want to get up and down the lake quicker than what normally you'd try to shriek the lake, so to speak.
Yeah, it's interesting. The outdrive thing just kind of came out of nowhere, and now, I mean, you just see them everywhere. And the thing that's kind of cool about it is, I mean, you can take them out in the middle. Like my Tri-Tune, I could put it in the water if I get a 65-degree day in December or even in January. I can go out there and run it around a little bit. I don't have to winterize it like I used to with my cruiser. But there is a lot of advantages to them.
Yep. Our, that's winterize the generator and the water system on all these other boats. And and I can still, just like you said, you can take it out, have a little fun on those 60-degree January days that you might get.
Well, listen, I am really glad we were able to have you on the show again. And everybody, you can get over to Marine Max. They're still selling boats. Dale promises me they will help you get into a boat before the end of the year. You're going to be open in January as well, I'm sure. And so anybody who's looking to get into a boat and take advantage of some of those year-end incentives and what's going on, and make sure that you visit my friends over there. They'll help you out. And I know I've always been extremely happy with my service and my product I get from there. And I hope we can send you guys a bunch of customers to finish your year strong.
Well, thank you for your partnership and letting us step in on your world. The LOZ app, we love it. Tell everybody to use it. It's been pretty good. I use it. I live here.
We love it, man. Hey, thanks so much. All right, guys, that's another episode of the LOZ Podcast Network. We will be right back after these messages.